2,500 feet in elevation. What is the angle of elevation? This one's a little tricky because this is in miles and this is in feet. So we have to know how many feet are in a mile or how many miles are in a foot. Well, it's better to know how many feet are in a mile. I'm looking that up real quick right now. Feet in mile. There is, so 1 mile is the same as 5,280 feet. So what's our triangle going to look like? Well, we're going to have a right triangle. It increases in elevation 250 feet. So this side going up right here is going to be 250 feet. This side right here is going to be our 6 miles, or 5,280 times 6. 31680 feet. And I just did 5,280 times 6, and that gave me the 31680. What we want to know is we want to know this right here. Again, according to our angle, let's see, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse. Remember Toa, So, and Ka. I have an opposite and a hypotenuse. What uses opposite and hypotenuse over here? It is the So. So I can say the sine of this angle, let's call it X or A. Let's call it A. Sine of angle A is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. You remember how we find exactly what that is? We use the inverse right here. So this sine to the -1 of 2,500 over 31680. And that, if we enter that into our calculator, we should get the answer that we need. Let me show you how to enter that into your calculator. Clear everything here? Right here, I'm going to go to this functions button right here. When I push that functions button, right here, off to the side, I get those inverse functions. So there is sine to the -1. So I'm going to enter in that right there. I'm actually going to hit the main button again and go back to the main button, because right here I have a fraction. And so it might be easier just to enter things in as that fraction, but make sure you are inside. So I'm just hitting inside the parentheses to get the cursor in there. I'm going to hit the fraction. So 2,500. I'm going to hit down in the denominator to get the cursor down there. 31680. And our answer should show up 4.5. So we can say angle A is 4.5 degrees. Kind of a not very quick degree right there. Okay, let's do one more, and then I'm going to let you guys practice some of this. If you can see on Canvas, there's practicing some trig applications there. Number 4, the hot air balloon is 100 feet straight above where it is planning to land. Sarah is driving to meet the balloon when it lands. If the angle of elevation to the balloon is 35 degrees, how far away is Sarah from place on the ground where the balloon will land? Ooh, this one we can have lots of fun drawing. As we're going to draw a little hot air balloon. Let's see how well I can draw balloons. Okay, that's kind of a hot air balloon with its basket right here. See, okay. And it is going to land on this spot right here. Sarah is driving. What's a fun color for a car? I once had a purple car. That was pretty cool. So here's her car. That is looks kind of like a spaceship, but it's a car. Okay. She is. So the balloon is 100 feet above, right above where it's going to be. The angle of elevation. So the angle of elevation is from the car to the balloon. So this angle right here is 35 degrees. We want to know how far Sarah is. The balloon is right above the ground, so that's going to make a right angle right there. Again, let's label according to this. That is a beautiful picture, isn't it? So right here I have an opposite, I have an adjacent, and the hypotenuse. Always label those. I think it really helps to see where those are at. What I'm doing is I'm looking for an adjacent, and I have an opposite. So if we look at, write it up here, SOHCAHTOA, which one uses adjacent and opposite? If you said tangent, you're right. So we have the tangent of that angle, which is 35 degrees, equals, and this is opposite, so 100 over the adjacent. Okay. Do you remember how to solve these? I think we talked about it in class. It's a little tricky when x is in the denominator. When x is in the denominator, really what you're doing is you're just switching these right here. So x is equal to 100 over the tangent of 35 degrees. We can enter that into our calculator. Let me go to the calculator here. Let me clear everything off of here. So we're going to just enter it like that. So 100. I'm going to hit the divided by sign. Tangent 35. And it gives us our answer right here of 142.8. So x is equal to 142.8, and we are working in feet here. So 142.8 feet. That's how far Sarah is from the balloon landing. So on Canvas, there are some practice problems. Why don't you go ahead and try those, see what you can do, and then there's also a submit assignment there as well. Have fun. Like I always say, have fun.